Hello, very warm welcome to Dodgers Trips, and I'm here in Wyke. Now, a couple of years ago I did a walk down Towngate, and I did that on a Sunday morning from the other end and finished here by the park, and I thought it'd be about time to go do the same walk again and see what's changed, because Towngate is one of them streets where there's shops, businesses, they're always coming and going, so we'll see what changes there are. There'll be a bit of history along the way, a few stories, and I'm hoping to pop in some then and now comparison photos as well. So just a bit of a mixed bag, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. So we're starting here by the recreation ground. Now, does anybody remember this property here, the oldest stone house? That used to be doctor's surgery, didn't it? Was that about 35 years ago? Dr. D'Arcy, because he was our family doctor, and then Dr. D'Arcy moved just where we started the walk, down to where you can see that for sale sign. Just one of them terraced houses there, that became his surgery. And we were just talking about this the other day. When did that whole system of having a family doctor, why did it disappear? Those were the days when you could go along, book an appointment, see the doctor in person every single time. You were seeing the same doctor every single time you went. Your family went to see the same doctor. You knew all your history and everything. It just seemed a much better system. I wonder what the reasons were for this change to medical centres that we have now, and all the kerfuffle about trying to get an appointment, and you just can't get to see a doctor, can you now, and you don't know which doctor you're going to be seeing from visit to visit. Just got a then and now photo comparison from this viewpoint, which I'm going to put on the screen, and you can see the differences. This photo, the then photo, was taken about 1923, so about 100 years ago, and there's only one car right in the distance. Compare that with Towngate today. But the buildings themselves still recognisable. The old Barclays Bank there with the stonework at the frontage. Yeah, someone from 100 years ago would still know where they were. Now, if you're wondering about a property on Towngate, I think this one is for sale, £100,000. We'll get on to about house prices in Wyke a little bit in a little while. So over the road, this is a brand new shop, the Tech Vault. Smartphones, tablets, accessories, business website packages, CCTV installation and tech repairs. And coming soon, a dessert shop by the looks of it, Crimson Treats. So wait and see what that one's like. The Skin Shocks tattoo parlour, is that still open? I don't know. Wyke Wine store and off licence, and on the corner, what for years and years was Franco's barber shop, wasn't it? Now it's got a sign above the door, Sheriff's Interpreting Office. Times have changed. Fratelli, Italian restaurant, and here Carr Road, very interesting. It's one of them streets that people just drive by. Now, still got the old stone sets in the road here, how it used to be. Carr Road, it used to come down here and then it would veer to the right slightly and it would go down to Huddersfield Road, and you could drive right through from Huddersfield Road to Towngate. All this area here, when we first came to Wyke about 1986, this was just like flattened ground. Houses had been demolished years before and it was just flattened ground, waste space, and used to get articulated lorries and that using it as a sleepover on a night. You can't see here, but just the other side of this supported housing accommodation, there's Laverack Field, a row of terraced houses, and that was where we bought our first house, very first house in Wyke. And you used to be able to cut across from Laverack Field, come right across this area of open ground and get onto Towngate for your takeaways. When I was first looking to move to Bradford in the middle 80s, 1980s, we came a couple of times to city centre and we were going to housing agents to find an house to rent. And I remember looking in an estate agent's window and there was a house for sale, and it was a terraced house on Garden Field in Wyke, and it was for £5,000. And I just couldn't believe how cheap that was, £5,000. Thinking back, that would have been a house that would have needed everything doing into it, but even so, coming from York, where house prices were very expensive, to think you could buy a house for £5,000, that was mind-blowing. So we eventually got a property in Bradford to live on Halifax Road near Tesco's, which was then Hillard's. That's taking you back. But because I'd seen this property for £5,000 and Wyke sort of linked together, cheap houses, Wyke, when it came to be in a position that we could buy a house about 1986, Wyke was the place to come and look, and that's where we found the house on Laverack Field, through by Light Cottage, 2 bedroomed, and I think we paid £14,000 for that in 1987, 86, 87. Yeah, so house prices. Coming out of Carr Road here, I'm just going to cross over because there's another comparison photo that we can show you. The photographer was stood somewhere around this position, and you see down Carr Road, you see this property, which is fair weather windows, doors and conservatories. And then next to it, got a new takeaway opened called Friday. Not been in there, but that used to be the old, is it Turkish food? Can't remember what it was called. And way back, the old pet shop. Let's cross over, and then we can see this side of the road behind me. So over here, Cicchini's, is that still in business? It's been a business for a lot of years in Wyke. Don't know if it's still open. Sydney Nails, Spa and Beauty, and then Lucky Garden, Chinese takeaway. That again, is that the longest takeaway business on Towngate been in existence? Maybe that and the other Chinese, which we'll see later on at the other end, where we're going to finish our walk. Yeah. Wyke Village fish and chip shop. This chippy is the one that's open 7 days a week, and I think they're open until about 9 o'clock at night. Let's just have a look. 11:15 to 9 p.m. It's closed on a Sunday. It did have a spell of opening on a Sunday, so maybe that's no longer there. What's this all about? Desserts served here every Sunday. Matilda pot, classic and mango tiramisu, mango and strawberry pancakes, and try me for free. So, 3 strawberry, mango and strawberry, I don't know. Anyway, there we got the Sweetie people, long-standing business in Wyke, and over the road got Creative Stitch. I've used that lady a few times for clothes alterations. She always does a good job. And we've got another photo comparison, which is going to be a bit difficult because there's a van parked up here, but we'll get across the road again. Yeah, so the photo comparison was taken somewhere just here at the side of Creative Stitch building. You can see this building here just to the left of the photo, and here what is now Sweetie People and the chip shop used to be cottages, and there was the boundary wall and the old coal stacks all just going across there from the pub to where the chippy is. Obviously this van is in the way, so we're not getting a very good then and now comparison. Creative Stitch, yeah, this is a little area called Drake Fold. Few shops, I'm not sure if there's any open. Let's just have a look. So businesses come and go, various beauty hair salons. Don't like there's much business going on there. Over the road got the Top Odd. 3 pubs in Town Gate. And then we got Key Property, I think that's closed down. And then we got the Juiced Phone and Vape Shop. That's a new shop. Just what Wyke needs. Then we've got this parade where you got the post office. Here's a really nice bloke in there. The meeting place, I'm going to cross over, there's no cars coming. Would normally use the zebra crossing. Dodger Strips recommends you use the zebra crossing, although I nearly got knocked down the other day crossing the road. Traffic stopped in one direction, the other direction it didn't. She didn't even see me. The meeting place. I think this is the home of Wyke Food Bank. Yeah, so the post office here. As I say, a very good bloke there. Now this post box is out of action. Apparently it's been changed to a digital system, an automated system. Don't know how you post your letters automatically, but I suppose if you got any letters in the meantime, you can take them into the post office and it'll get them on the way. Looking back at old photos, there used to be a telephone box just outside where that ramped entrance is to the shop, to the post office. There used to be a red telephone box, and then later the post box. Towngate News, they used to be in the shop now, which is now occupied by not just sandwiches. I was chatting with an old lady the other week, and she was saying they do very good cakes there, reasonable prices, so that's a place maybe you want to check out. We'll have a look over the road. Got Hartley's Fish and Chip Shop. That's been a fishing shop for years and years and years. I've got so much information in my head that I'm probably gonna, not be able to relay everything that I plan to, because things go out of your head when you're out and about. But yeah, we've got Frill and Flounce next door to the chip shop. Then we've got hair salon and Wyke shoe repairs. Wyke shoe repairs, probably the smallest shop in Wyke. Right, so continuing on the left, Wyke Opticians, and we've got Animal Magic Dog Groomers. Over the road, this place is up for auction. The old Raphael's hair salon, which used to be the fruit and veg shop about 30 years ago. So what's that going to be when it sells? Got here the brown cow on the left hand side, second of the pubs on Town Gate. Over the road there we've got Travel with Care, independent travel agent. Right, let's have a look in the window, see what deals have got on at the moment. What deals are going on? Marrakesh area, £369. Lanzarote, Costa Blanca, £307. So yeah, Sandy's used Travel with Care a few times, and they do a really good service for us, because she's not like, she was going with a mate, and they're not right expert at, things being on your phone and all that, and they sorted everything out They got them a really good deal, and they did all the checking in at the airport and everything. What's this? This sort of, what's the fog? Disposables and liquid. It used to sell sort of boys' toys as well when it first opened. Now this place here used to be Butcher's. I think it was Ramsden's, this section of the what is now the pound shop. We're coming down, we're going to be in the third pub in Wyke, which is the Oddfellows Hall, known locally, and everybody knows it as the Bottom Odd. So the other end of Towngate where we just come from, that was the Top Odd, and this is nicknamed Bottom Odd, but it still retains the original name, the Oddfellows Hall. There we are. Now this little parade of shops here, this used to be the Titan Centre. This was the Hollywood 2000 video library, I remember. Then it was a freezer shop, then it was D. Lee's. Remember D. Lee's? An all-purpose, all selling what the pound shop has basically taken over what he used to be selling. And then we've got Kirkwood charity shop down there. And right in the corner, Pam's Place, great cafe. B&M Express. Not really like a B&M, it's only food. There we go. So we're looking back over the road here next to the pub, and we've got these old cottages. Now these section of houses along with the pub were here in about 1850. There wasn't much at all behind. There was the halfway house pub, and there was about 5 houses at the beginning of Carr Road there that run along the frontage of Towngate. Big shopping centre here, Asda. We've got a charity shop down at the bottom, Mencap, and here Curry's Chemist. Oh yeah, don't forget Sunnybank Medical Centre. There we are, there's the site. So we've got a little bit of a story about Curry's Chemist. We'll get to that. Okay. So just over the road from Asda and Curry's Chemist, we've got another comparison site. Now all this estate agents and Noddy's Barbers, that's a more recent building. So in this comparison, which is about 1900, there was actually nothing on this ground. These properties here, these houses were here that run up to the pub, but nothing behind me. And the houses on Carr Road only started on the right hand side about halfway down them bay-winded properties that you know. There's nothing at all on the left hand side. So if we just switch the camera, comparison photo is somewhere around here. There was like the bollards or fence posts where the perimeter of this car park is, going to the corner of Carr Road, but there was nothing actually stood on this ground. And looking over the road, that building there was the dye works. So a huge building that came right across where Curry's is, right across to where this car's coming out of the car park and going down. That was the dye works back in the day. As I say, I've got a bit of a story about Curry's Chemist, and it's not about Curry's Chemist themselves, but it's about a robbery that went on when the chemist building was under construction. Just get across the road before I tell the tale. When Curry's Chemist was getting constructed, before the building was up and everything, there was like a perimeter, security fence perimeter with a couple of shipping containers within, and that's where they used to, the builders used to lock all the valuables in on the night. Now they want the car park here as well, and Towngate Service Centre didn't have all the cars parked on the forecourt like they do now, so it was just like an open space. And one evening about 6:30, this pickup truck turned up, and some residents sort of noticed the pickup truck, these residents of the houses behind me. And these two blokes, they were in, like, wearing IVs, so they looked like workmen. They sort of threaded a pipe over the security fence, and there was like torching going on, burning. What they were doing, they're actually burning the way into these shipping containers. But because it was more or less broad daylight and only just after the site had closed down and the garage had closed, nothing was really thought about it. Did what they had to do. This pickup truck went away and then came back again about 15 minutes later. They started piling stuff into this pickup truck, and people realised that there was actually a robbery taking place, and they rang the police and said there's a crime taking place right now on Towngate, stealing loads of things from this building site. The police never turned up, and this pickup truck drove away, and then that's it. And then lo and behold, it came back a third time, and they must have got everything they needed out of these shipping containers, and they started lifting all the spare security fences and loading the pickup with them, and drove away. Now at this point, you know, there was no police had come, and there must have been a number on the boarding around the building site of who to contact in an emergency, and the residents rang the owner of the building firm, and they shot down here, the two blokes and two cars. The pickup truck with thieves in had been here 3 times, filling the boots. So these building constructor guys, the owners, they hid the cars and they waited in ambush for the truck to come back a 4th time, but it never did. The residents took photographs, so they got the registration. Whether, you know, they ever got caught or not, the thieves ever got caught, who knows. Oh, they were waiting in ambush. They had the cars parked here at this side and down on Albert Street as well, waiting for this truck to come so they could pile out and get them. This had all come to pass, and they stood chatting away, and then lo and behold, half an hour after police had been called, a couple of the most unlikely community support officers came walking, idling down Towngate towards this site, hands in their pockets, not a care in the world, no rush, as if they were just out on a Sunday stroll. And that was the police response, even though they'd said crime is taking place right now. Yeah. So the police were not much cop. So over the road, Towngate Service Centre. It used to be down there. There's a whole load of buildings. There used to be a company called Bradford. There's like electrical components, putting extension leads and things like that together. Sandy used to work for them for a while when we first come to Wyke. And then there used to be the Hypnotist, the nightclub, about where Asda is now. Can't imagine now, can you, Wyke having its own nightclub? But yeah, the girls from Bradford, they all used to go after work or on a Friday lunchtime. Used to go to the Hypnotist. Must have been after work, wouldn't it, with it being a nightclub. And then mobility scooters and equipment. So as I say, this row of houses here, sort of 1890, there was only about 5 houses built from the Carr Road end. The rest of them were an add-on, sort of in the later 1890s, 1900. Tale of a robbery. How about that? I mean, if you've got any memories, any little stories about Towngate, or going to the pubs, or any shops that you used to use, what was your favourite shop on Towngate, then, you know, let us know about it in the comments. It'd be good to get some more memories other than, you know, just my sort of 40-year memories. Yes, I'm going to go home and I'm going to kick myself, because there'll be loads of things that I'd wanted to say, and I kind of, you know, out on the street, as it were, I sort of go out of your mind. Or I go out of my mind. Is that more likely? Now here we're coming to the corner of Green Lane. So Old Green Lane, I've just given the game away. On the old maps, it's now just known as Green Lane. On the old maps, when there was only a couple of farms and the church down there, it was known as Old Green Lane. That was the name. Now on this corner where these houses are, used to be the old Wyke Centre. I wonder how many of you remember that building. Great building, we used to have lots of good do's on there. But the Wyke Centre used to be a school back in the 19th century. Stood on that corner. So we're getting to the end of Towngate here. We've got Wyke Green on the left hand side. Now on the right here, hello sir. On the right here we've got Wyke Christian Community Church. All are welcome. Now, part of this land here that church is stood on, and then there's some houses in between that and what is Kids Planet now. All this land was bowling greens, and the bowling greens stretched right back and they went behind the Robin Hood, right across the back of the Robin Hood. So quite sizable bowling greens. Again, that was about the turn of the century. So in 1900, yep, bowling greens. That was probably before the recreation ground was built. Now most Wykites know this as the Robin Hood, or was the Robin Hood, now Kids Planet nursery. When you look at the old maps again, the Robin Hood was called, or its full title was the Robin Hood and Little John Hotel. And there's some quite well-known pictures of the Robin Hood back in the days. Even like it seemed to be like a little gypsy encampment going on the green here. Now of course this is hard to imagine, but all what you can see were just fields back in the middle of the 19th century. No houses at all. On the corner there, where this is the top of White Lane, when it goes down to the junction, on the right there used to be a big old building, and that was known as Wyke Hall. Final stretch of houses now at this end of Towngate, the Wyke Express is there. That's the other Chinese, that probably that and the Lucky Garden is the most longest standing continuous business, takeaway business in Towngate. Towngate hairdressers here, shop I used to use. This is probably the oldest continuous barbers in Towngate now. There's just this one and Noddy's, with Franco's going out of business, what, I bet it's nearly 20 years ago now. But these row of shops, they never seem to settle. They're closed more often than they're open. You always look like there's going to be something going on and someone moving in there, but they never do. There used to be a flower shop there, and on the end here used to be Kyber House takeaway. It's still got the sign up right on the very end. So that's our look at Towngate in November 2025. I'll have to come back another 2 years and see what's changed. But I thought it'd be nice just to do it during the daytime when the businesses are open, because previously I'd done it on that Sunday morning. Just swing the camera around and let you look at the Wyke Village Green cenotaph, as it were. It's a place of remembrance, and the recent Remembrance Day, the poppies and the crosses are still all in place. I understand there is a service where all the local school children attend, and the kids are all really respectful, which is nice to know, isn't it? But we'll finish here at this end of Towngate as I'm on the beginnings of Wyke Lane here. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and check out my Facebook group. Okay, till then, Roger out.